Hi, hello, I'm Sam Harris and I read, review and discuss fantasy and science fiction books, and today we're talking about Friday stuff. It's the Friday show. This is the show that I record every Friday morning before I start work, which is all about what I've been reading, what I'm gonna read next, and what I've been kind of hanging out and getting up to this week. So, what have I been reading this week? I am still reading Path of Daggers. I can't actually remember when I started this book. It is one of the shortest books in the Wheel of Time, but I've been so busy. I've had three full evenings this week where I couldn't even sit down to read a single chapter because I was tired, and also I had like some of the evening booked out by something else. So we had like Bake Off, which my wife and I always watch together, and we also had to catch up on 2 episodes of Agatha All Along. I managed to read a ton while I was on holiday, while out for walks with my daughter. So my wife took my son swimming, and I'm not a big swimming fan, so I just took my daughter for a walk around the forest because we were in Centre Parks, and the whole time I was walking, I was listening to Path of Daggers. So I was getting like 3 or 4 chapters a day done while we were on holiday, and I thought I wouldn't get any reading done on holiday at all because the evenings were full of like hanging out with my family and stuff, but turns out I got loads done. However, since I've been back, we've been really busy kind of like catching up on life post-holiday, and so unfortunately reading's taken kind of a backseat. I've managed to read a couple of chapters a day every day, at least 1 chapter a day, I think. Some days I'm reading like 3 pages, putting the book down, coming back to it 2 hours later, reading a few more pages, which has not been the best way to digest Wheel of Time, honestly. And I ended up actually rereading a chapter earlier this week. So there was a chapter that I ended up rereading using the audiobook, because I was like, actually, I need to just make sure that I've taken that chapter in, because I don't think I have, because I read it so sporadically. Still really enjoying this one. This one feels like, to me, what I've been saying about the previous books, but like turned up to the max, which is that this is basically like an episodic sort of journey. So this is like a week in the lives of Rand and company, and like the sections that I have enjoyed the most have been the Egwene bits. So I would say Egwene. No, I was going to say she's my least favourite of the Emond's Field characters. I do think Nynaeve is my least favourite, but like by a hair. Nynaeve is really interesting in how complicated she is as a character. Egwene is quite simple, but the situation that she's been thrust into is really interesting, and I like it a lot. I really enjoy like political maneuvering and like subtle bits and bobs and things like that, and she's doing a lot of that in her chapters in this book. So those I have really, really enjoyed. Now, I imagine I will finish this book like not today, but over the weekend. I'm gonna read a big chunk of this today, ideally, but hopefully I'll finish it over the weekend, because it says I have 4 hours of reading left on Audible. Wheel of Time stuff, I do actually tend to read close to the Audible time, but I have like a couple of errands this weekend that will take at least an hour or so. So for those hours of errands time, I will be listening. I don't know why I bashed my head with the book then. I will be listening to Path of Daggers. So really looking forward to finishing this book off. My next book is actually an audio only book, which is Death Tax by Andrew Givler, and that will get me up to date on the deck collection. Unfortunately, the big issue there is that when I finish it, there will be no more deck collection books to read, and that's going to get me into the exact same zone that I've been with a lot of my favourite series. So, you know, Dresden Files, Bloodsworn, that the series isn't done, but I'm up to date, so I'm kind of done with what I can read. So yeah, sad times. However, it's always exciting to have a brand new book in a series that you love ready to read, and that's what I've got. So yeah, looking forward to that. After Death Tax, I am probably going to read Fury of the Gods by John Gwynne, because I've got the digital copy ready to read. It was technically an advanced review copy, now it's just a review copy because it's out. But I read the first 2 Bloodsworn books and loved them. I thought the second one was actually better than the first, which is a semi-controversial opinion. Most people do prefer the first one. But yeah, I would like to finish that story off. As you guys know from me talking about Return to Edan, I love endings. So I feel like the 2 things that I vibe with the most with fantasy stories is like openings, first books, and endings of, you know, short series like trilogies. And seeing how John Gwynne finishes this bad boy up is something that I'm really excited about. I was originally going to read the next Wheel of Time book straight after Death Tax, but I've just decided that I want to read Fury of the Gods because everyone's talking about it, and I'd like to take part in that conversation. Let's be part of the zeitgeist, as it were. I should have really read that book instead of Path of Daggers, so I could have had a review out on launch day, which is something that I'm used to from the days of video games, where I would get an advanced copy for a game and then I would write the review to go up on websites or whatever on the day of launch. But unfortunately with books that's a bit difficult, because if you're like, well, I'm already reading a book, it's hard for me personally to put a book down and pick it back up. I don't enjoy books as much if I do that, so I try not to unless I really need to. The one thing I was saying about Fury of the Gods is big cliffhanger stuff at the end of book 2. Really, really love that John Gwynne includes a recap at the beginning of the book. So yeah, really looking forward to reading that one. After Fury of the Gods, obviously it needs to be like a it needs to be a like sci-fi or horror, crime thriller, murder mystery, basically a non-fantasy. So I used to kind of flip and go fantasy, sci-fi, fantasy, sci-fi. I have used urban fantasy in place of sci-fi for a few books this year with the deck collection, and I would really want to read more horror stuff. I didn't buy the Broken Binding Halloween box because I just bought a brand new phone, which you're actually seeing video footage from now. So if you enjoy this video, this is what the video quality is going to be like from here on out, because I've switched phones. However, so yeah, really enjoyed, really want to enjoy some more horror. I want to read some more, I know I start this video by saying I'm a fantasy and science fiction book channel, and primarily I will always be a fantasy and science fiction book channel. However, I would like to, I've come across like some books that I just kind of want to read that aren't fantasy and sci-fi, and I could either go, well, I can't read these while I'm doing the channel, or I could read them and maybe introduce some new genres to you guys who are watching. So I've got a craving to read something that's like a proper page-turner thriller. And I really enjoyed The Lincoln Lawyer, the Netflix show. So I was thinking about reading one of the books that the Bosch series, that's also written by the same author as the Lincoln Lawyer. Really looking forward, really thinking about reading one of those. So there's tons of interesting stuff out there that I could be reading. There's infinite books in the library. I've got hundreds of books on the shelf, and yes, I know I should be getting to those books, but I just have the like craving to read like a proper page turner. So hopefully that will be something that I get to soon. In terms of the channel, so this week we skipped a video for the first time since my daughter was born. I had already recorded the Return to Edan review, so that I was able to put up on Monday. So I'd recorded it and I was then able to edit it when we got back from our holiday. I didn't think that we would be back so late on Monday, so didn't have time to then edit it before go live time at 5 PM, so it went up a little bit late. However, it's gone down really well. Tuesday, I had just not had time to do any videoing, any filming, and yeah, weird week this one, honestly. It's been a really weird week. I've had 2 days off work, one for the holiday and then one to go and see some penguins with my kids. We went to, well, not just penguins, but mostly penguins. We went to Weymouth Sea Life Centre yesterday, which was a lot of fun. I love seeing cool animals. I got to see some Asian otters that were extremely cute, and that was a lot of fun. So yeah, so weird week on the channel this week, but I did post the Wheel of Time collaboration video that I have been talking about since August. So if you are a Wheel of Time fan and you would like to see why a ton of your favourite, or my favourite, booktubers like Wheel of Time, then please check that video out. The more people that watch it, the better. Share it with your friends. It's already been quite a popular video, but I'd love to get it seen by more people, just for the effort that all the collaborators put in to send me those video clips. Especially quite a few of them like set up their complicated filming setups and stuff in order to get those over to me. So I'm really thankful, and I loved watching the video, loved making it. It took a long time for me to edit together because I wanted to make it like perfect. So normally my editing takes like 10 minutes, but this took quite a long time. However, yeah, had a great time with that one. If you are interested in Wheel of Time, it's pretty much spoiler free, so I would give that one a shout. Next week on the channel, oh, that's an upset cat. Cus, come here. I think the cats are fighting. They play fight a lot because they're both boy cats. But sometimes one of them takes it too far and the other one gets upset. So that's probably what's happening right now. Anyway, next week on the channel, so Path of Daggers review will be on Monday. I'm pretty certain that I'm actually now up to date, unfortunately, on books, and I have to read a book a week in order to keep my cadence with reviews. Very sad times, because I do like when I have a buffer for books. I might pick a few short and quick books up to read in the next few weeks to give myself that buffer back again. Although Fury of the Gods probably isn't a short, quick book. Oh well. So yeah, not sure what else will be on the channel next week. I think I want to do another re-ranking, another BookTubers top 10. I was planning on doing Andrew Watson's for this week's Tuesday video that I ended up having to skip, and honestly it's because those videos take quite a lot of time and prep, because you obviously have to watch the whole video, then I have to like do my research, write my notes, and write up my re-ranking, so that sometimes takes a while. Other than that, it's going to be a surprise for you guys next week because I also don't know what I'm making. I do know that I want to update my top 5 fantasy books at some point. So maybe that will come out sometime soon. But honestly, a lot of this is going to be based around what I have time to record and film because it's another busy week coming up. I think that's everything that we need to talk about at the moment. Yeah, okay. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have liked this video, give it a like. If you would like to chat to me about what you're reading, I'd love to find out. Drop down in the comments below and just let me know what you're reading, what you're enjoying, what you're having time with. And if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, but you're watching this video, which is just like kind of an update on my life, what's going on? Just give me a sub, man. You know it makes sense. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll speak to you on Monday.